Now,
Interested to see if he's going to be going for some kind of very fast zealot. And hello to everyone who just tuned in at home. My name's Day 9, and we are doing some ZVP action of Destiny versus Minigun. Very excited to see what is going to be happening for Destiny, just due to the fact that he's been having so much trouble. He's been struggling so hard in this matchup all throughout the LAN. And right now we're playing on Metalopolis with Destiny in the south position. And it looks like Destiny talking about how hot it is in there. Is it really hot? Because we can change the temperature. That is right there in the pressure-controlled booth. Hello, everyone at home. In the game right now, looks like we have Metalopolis being played. So let's go ahead and take a brief map overview to look at the map before we step into the gameplay itself.
Metalopolis is probably the most well-known map in the map pool. It's a pretty standard large macro map. Generally, you'll see the players split the army through the middle, but of course, because you have a very widespread open natural expansion, you almost always need to have a good sense of what your opponent is up to. Aggressive builds can be decently strong early, but it's the mid-game that you really need to be worried about. With those two counterattack paths, the Xel'Naga watchtowers are critical from mid to late game throughout.
And so now on Metalopolis, we see Destiny receiving a little bit of pressure from Minigun right now. There's an early Stalker push. Looks like Destiny did make that initial Spine Crawler, but it looks like Minigun is going to have to put a little bit better control. As we look on the main screen, we see that Spine Crawler is burrowing right now. Some big control. Big control right now at the front of the base. Destiny really, really needs to get his natural expansion up. So now the Forge is going down. Minigun will be taking his natural expansion. And after that sort of push, it's kind of hard to see the direction Minigun wants to go in. I mean, he's getting the Forge up, and this is obviously okay, but Destiny still needs to get his third up a lot earlier. That's sort of the theme that we've been looking at in these games. Destiny seems to be kind of comfortable against that if his opponent is going for an early expand. When his opponent is not going for an early expand, when he's going for some sort of one-base play, I see Destiny still mining gas and still kind of faltering. So we see Destiny now heading over to the third. Excellent. That makes me really excited. I'm really happy about that. We see the Roach Warren also going down. Destiny is going to be in good shape. This is the third game that these two players have played. In the first set, Destiny took quite a beating. In this set, in the last, it looks like he's getting himself established to be in a pretty good situation. Minigun defeated Destiny 13 times in a row in their practice games yesterday. So the fact that he's able to take a really solid win off in a pretty standard-looking game makes me very, very excited. +1 attack upgrade is coming down right now. And we're going to go ahead and take a first-person point of view from Destiny. I'll be right back with some more action, but let's go ahead and continue to follow Destiny's course of play.
Our forces are under attack. The Hive cluster is under attack.
And we are back here at the Red Bull Gaming LAN, and we're seeing Minigun do another huge push. And this is, I think, a strategy that has been giving a lot of players a lot of problems. It's a delayed Sentry Zealot push at this late game stage, or this early game stage. And we're seeing Destiny, he's going to be trying to make a lot of roaches. He needs to make sure his ramp doesn't get picked off. Some great Zergling control right there by Destiny. He will be able to take this off. And even though he lost his third base, I still think that Destiny is going to be in good shape. He just needs to simply retake his third and progress as normal. His layers up, could probably just build something as simple as one Overseer and progress onward. He'll be in good shape. There's a third base going down. Good old Chad M. Jones. Now getting his Robo, all his other, etc. And getting this Nexus up, but a little risky. A little bit risky. You know, anytime you take a lead, there's two things that I think you always have to do. One is check for expansions. Make sure your opponent isn't expanding too much. And the other is make sure you're defended from any sort of stupid harassment. So things like having these overlords spread out is a great, great tool. And look at this, immediately recognizing there's this expansion going down. And I think that this can be a real shocker. But you can easily just attack it and do some big damage. Still largely Zealot sentries from Minigun. He knows his opponent is just on Roach and Ling Tech. And Zealot Sentry is actually going to be quite okay against this many Roaches. Only if he can get some really good force fields down with his sentries. Minigun will instead opt for Stalkers, though. And now, while this attack is going on, it looks like a nice engagement here from Minigun, doing some incredibly good force fields. But I want to take the direction away from this attack that's going on. Sure, that's fun and exciting, but look at this. Still getting speed, getting these upgrades, getting the Ventral Sacks, getting the Baneling Nest, and establishing the third base. All essential. Minigun has barely defended this expansion with some really, really, really nice control. He's getting an Immortal up. He has the Observer. Doesn't have a Twilight Council, so he will not be able to continue upgrading. And that is exactly why Destiny was brilliant to have opted to continue to get these upgrades, to continue on with his usual course of action. Second Baneling Nest in main. That should be his second, right? Yep, there's the other one. I will say that. Make sure he doesn't end up doing something too blunderous. I would hate for him to do as such. And I'm sure this will begin quivering. I don't know if you know this, but Destiny is absolutely hilarious. The LAN has been a complete blast having him here. I still so impressed at the simplicity of this transition that Destiny's doing. Double upgrades before layer is really started, and then double upgrades after it, and just going for Roach Baneling drops, putting pressure on. And look at Minigun. If Minigun did an early push the way he did, sure, he gets the third down, but Destiny just calmly bends his way back to the position he was at. If this push comes a little bit later, well, Destiny has a lot of Roach Zergling, and this has the established economy. Well, what if he pushes right now? Well, he has the Baneling drops, he has the Roach count reasonably high, and there's the +2. And now, all of a sudden, we can begin to re-examine the map architecture. We can get more Zerglings on this map. The counterattacks can be a little bit better. We can do Baneling drops much more easily from these angles. The main, the natural, the second natural, all very vulnerable for the Protoss. Minigun doing a good job sealing this off, getting himself, it looks like double upgrades. He built that second forge. Really cool. Just going for Blink Stalkers, Immortals, and upgrades. Brutally strong force, and we're seeing Destiny go for tons of Banelings. Holy cow. He has 10 Banelings out right now, but he has 23 building. This gold may have been a mistake for Destiny because Destiny can't respond nearly quickly enough. Sees the huge push, can't respond in time. Baneling drop on the right, Baneling drop on the left. So for the second time this game, we've seen a big push, relatively uncontested. Drones do end up pulling back. See, this is a little too over-eager. He's coming in at too wide an angle, and he's coming at a very sharp angle because Minigun just runs away. Stalkers get morphed in. This is really good, keeping it all up along that top side. Destiny needs to have a little bit better map awareness of this. And look at this. Already getting the Spores and Spines to deal with any sort of DT play. Ooh, he needs to pull back. Does not want to engage on that small ramp. And now's the time when he needs to start thinking about those Baneling drops. And perfect, 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 perfect. And it looks like Destiny's just going to tease along this backside with that one single Overlord. And right as this engagement's going on, we see more Banelings getting morphed in. Sentry count is not quite high enough. Oh, the Sentry's getting gobbled up. Needs to pull back. Great pullback, but the Baneling drop needed to come a little bit earlier. This is right at the moment when Minigun will actually be watching in his main. And look at that instant freaking reaction time. But not at that natural. No, you idiot Baneling. Oh, God. Either way, Destiny still having a solid enough core army to be able to deal with this, blinking up onto the high ground. That was one of the most painful things I have ever seen in the Workers Kill tab. We see only 5 That stupid-ass Baneling. I cannot believe. That is the dumbest Baneling I think I've ever seen. Minigun now trying to just control the expansion count. We're seeing a couple more Zerglings sneak in here for Destiny. Seems to have some sort of funky rally point. We see Destiny doing a good job with small numbers of units controlling those expansions. Now I see Destiny down to 172 food. Minigun up at 144, doing a nice job. Now it looks like Minigun is continuing to add on a lot of Immortals. I like this play thus far. I mean, he's seeing largely Roaches, and Destiny should definitely respond by going a little bit more Ling heavy. To note, this Greater Spire has been done for a long time. Nothing really has been done with it. More expansions going down for Destiny, correctly using his minerals. Again, we're going to take a 30-second break from the commentary just to watch from Destiny's point of view. So it looks like perhaps a little bit of an over-eager engagement from Destiny. Blinkstalker is going to be able to blink directly up under. Didn't quite need to engage there. It needed to just hold back for a little bit. But it does look like Mr. Chad Jones looking very, very solid in this game. Really sort of demonstrating why he's been able to just rip through almost every Zerg he's played against at this LAN. Just a simple Stalker Immortal army, not even getting 3-3. The range 6 of these Immortals helping so much. These Roaches just evaporate. And of course securing Photon Cannon, looking good. More Banelings getting morphed in. Zergling, Roach, Baneling. Looks like it's the composition of choice for Destiny. Excuse me, for Destiny. And now it looks like he has not really gone back into the Baneling drop mode. I mean, he's only killed 6 workers all game long. There's actually been almost no worker kills from any players throughout this game. Some incredible blink micro right there by Minigun. And I think Destiny was probably a little bit surprised to see that Broodlord army evaporate so quickly. When you have that many Stalkers sort of breathing down your neck, it can obviously be very difficult. And there's the good game, and it looks like Minigun was able to best Destiny 2-1, but that last game was actually quite a bit closer than we would have expected. And in a brief moment, we will be going to an interview with one of our players right afterwards. So whatever you do, don't go anywhere. More Red Bull gaming action coming up at redbullusa.com/LAN, or of course their Twitch TV, twitch.tv/RedBullGaming.